Some action items, a discussion. We're going to vote on minutes, going to do a superintendent's report, and our next meeting will probably be what, town meeting?
That's in December.
Okay, it's not going to be in town meeting. It will be sometime in October, November,
Probably
before the town meeting. Tonight we have an appointment with Claire Galowski, South Shore Recycling Cooperative. We have 5 action items. An abatement, 40 Porter Street. Is anyone from Porter Street there? Porter Street, okay. We're going to talk about the dreaded winter, road salt sanding contract signatures, an increase in hourly rates for snow and ice contractors, engineering services of Bay Avenue seawall, Plymouth Avenue pump station holding tank repair pump lining. Those are the 5 action items. So we're going to discuss cemeteries. We have Couch Cemetery and we have some issues, and we want to have a discussion on that. We're going to talk about the superintendent's 1-year evaluation. It's been a year? Well, coming up to a year. Wednesday. Okay. We'll vote on September 16, 2024 as an open meeting. The superintendent will have his report on Mayflower and Countryway Drainage Project, full paving, routine maintenance projects. Anything else? No? Okay. And like I said, the next meeting will be in November. That's the agenda. Vote on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Since Claire is here and it is 6:05 and you're scheduled for 6:10, we'll just move you up.
Really, sounds like you've got a lot on your agenda, so it's probably good to start early. Thank you very much. Do you want me to sit or stand?
You can sit.
They can see the back of your head if you stand. No, I mean,
Hi.
no. No, why don't you just lay out what you want to talk to us about and go from there.
Okay. All right, my name's Claire Galkowski. I'm the executive director of the South Shore Recycling Cooperative. We've been around since 1998. This is our chairman, Delshon Flip. She's the health director in the town of Rockland, so she just came to join. I stood before your board 15 years ago when, after you had been a member, Marshfield had been a member for 11 years, one of our founding members, and it was decided to withdraw from the cooperative. And I'm back tonight to tell you what we're doing and explain why it would be beneficial for the town of Marshfield to consider rejoining our organization. So we've been around, as I said, since 1998. We're right now at 17 towns, including all your surrounding towns. I sent a handout around last week, which shows our service area. So it's all the towns around you and a few layers back. And we provide a lot of services to our towns and cost-saving items. So I'm gonna follow the
Sure.
handout that I gave. Just keep me on topic because I can talk all night. I don't think you want me to do that. So I do an annual report every year, and when I sum up all the cost savings and extra payments and grant money that our towns qualify for, we more than double the, provide more than double the return on what our towns are paying for membership dues. And so we have a lot of benefits, but I honed it down to a few that might be most relevant to the town of Marshfield. Our core program is our household hazardous waste collection program. All of our towns participate in that. We have a reciprocal agreement among all our towns, so whenever a town has a hazardous waste day, it's open to all our towns. So that means that residents of all our 17 towns have access to 11 or 12 hazardous waste collection events every year. Just in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've gotten 3 calls from Marshfield residents that had missed your collection or couldn't get into it. And they were disappointed to learn that they couldn't attend ours because we're a membership organization. We're supported by our town's dues, so we can't open our events up to non-residents of our group. And at this point, about 40% of the people that come to each town's event are from neighboring and other towns and not from the host town. So it's definitely a convenience for residents. It keeps the bad stuff out of your trash, which can be a risk to your transfer station and curbside collection workers. We have been using state contract Back 110 for the past few years, and we recently went out to bid for our own contract because Back 110 has not been rebid yet, and it's up this July. So you may know that you have to schedule your events well in advance, like a year in advance if you're going to get a date, because there's more demand for hazardous waste events than there is vendors who want to provide the service. So I didn't want my towns to be waiting and finding out how much of a cost increase there was going to be because you're doing your budgets right now. So we went out to bid and we got 2 bids, one from Trident, which the town of Marshfield, I believe, used for their last event, and one from Clean Harbors. We've been using Trident for a few years, probably 3 years now. They've been very good, but and their rates are very low, but I can assure you that next year they're not going to be low anymore because the bid that they gave us, and they want our work, but they gave us a 40% increase. So where we're paying $52 a car now, their bid was $84, which is more in line with what the other contractors are for a full load equivalent. Your last event was very well attended. Donna estimates that the cost will be around $25,000. So if Trident bids the same rates that they bid to the state contract that they bid to ours, you're going to be looking at another $10,000 or more for next year's event. Clean Harbors really wants our business. They're located here. Their headquarters is in Norwell. They have a facility in Braintree, which is also a member of our organization. And I actually spoke with the president that I happened to meet at an event, and she really wanted to get our business. So they level bid what we're currently paying. So our costs are, I'm sorry, I mentioned. So we're all looking at increased costs. I think ultimately we are going to see a cost increase too, because there will be extensions and things like that where they're able to raise the rates a little bit. But this bid will really save us a lot of money, and it includes any towns that join after their bid, which was just last month. We just awarded it last month. So that's one area where I think that becoming a member of our organization would be very helpful for the town of Marshfield. I handle the scheduling. I do the DEP reporting because you have to know notifications. You have to notify them. I do some of the publicity. I do expect the towns to put things up on their websites and things, but I do a lot of we have a MailChimp list. It's 3,000 plus. Facebook, the web. I put it out in the newspaper. So I do the publicity. We provide 2 staff people at the event who help to do the car counts and manage the out-of-town people. So like for Marshfield, we would have 2 people there that can help move the cars through, and they also check residency, and they work with the vendor to assess the loads so you're not getting overcharged. So because they know what 25 gallons. You know, you're billed based on volume or weight. And so you need to know what 25 gallons or 25 pounds looks like. And, you know, just, if you don't have somebody working with the vendor, it's possible that they might just go high on things that are questionable, and you'll end up paying more money. So we provide the 2 staff who do the load assessments, and I get the billing breakdown, so I can divide it up among all the towns. You know, you only pay for your own residents. So if 5 Marshfield residents go to the Plymouth collection, which is coming up this weekend, or were they to go there, we would have a line for Marshfield. We would know whether they brought a small, medium, or large load, and I would incorporate that in the bill. So, and I check their bills. I put that together. I give it to the vendor. They are supposed to send me the bills before they go out, because it's a lot easier to fix a bill before it goes out than after it's been paid. So I do all that, and we are also in the process of planning a regional facility, which would be open year-round. That's a little ways out. You know, we were hoping it would open. I'm still hopeful that it'll be open within a year and a half. So that would be an additional convenience for your residents to have, you know, winter and summer access, as well as the spring and fall, which we currently do. I mentioned the reciprocity. And so that's hazardous waste.
Can I just
Sure.
tag on to that, only because these are the things that excite me, right? Being a member of this coalition, it's really an amazing opportunity for the residents of Marshfield. I speak for the Rockland residents. They're able to go to all of these events throughout the year. They can go to anyone, Plymouth, Situate, Hanover,
All the time.
all the times,
It's
and it
the most.
happens twice a year. And this opportunity, being able to go to a facility like this, deters the resident from illegally disposing of the items. And that's probably the main concern, because you want to make sure whatever they're doing with this hazardous waste, they're disposing of it properly. Now you have residents that are like, oh yeah, I don't have the time, I can't wait for the next time Marshfield has one. So they dispose of it in the trash, they dispose of it illegally somehow, some way. So having the opportunity to have several times a year where you can dispose of hazardous waste is a huge benefit for the environment and the resident. So I just wanted to touch on that, how it is important to become a member of the South Shore Co-op.
Yep. And a lot of people move, and they don't, once a year just doesn't do it. If you're moving in November and you miss the September collection, you're not, or if you're moving any other time besides the time you have your collection, they're stuck. So it's going to either get left behind for the next owner, or it'll go in the trash or down the drain. So that's not good for anybody. Marshfield participates in the recycling dividend program. Sean, I imagine you're somewhat familiar with that. Are you familiar with RDP?
Somewhat.
It's a grant program, so RDP.
Ken handles a lot of this.
Oh, hi Ken. So you're familiar with it?
Yes.
You have elements of your program, and you have an excellent program. I should have said that at the outset. Marshfield really has a model program with the pay-as-you-throw and the transfer station, and it's a terrific program. And I'm not here to improve that unless you want advice on that. But you get a lot of RDP funding. I think you wrote it down.
Yeah, 11,000.
You got $11,000 last year with that.
No,
Oh,
1,000.
1,100 per point.
Yeah, they
Oh,
have
and
a
you have-
balance of 68,000?
Yeah, yep. Well, they did when you reported last February.
Oh, okay.
You had 68,000. You had 11 points, so you got $12,100 in RDP funding. which can be used for any recycling-related or hazardous waste-related expenses, including membership in our organization, including covering costs for your hazardous waste day, and lots of other things. So having one of their criteria, one of their point possibilities is for hazardous waste access. And so you get 1 point if you have more than one event in your town a year. You get 2 points if your residents have the opportunity to go to 6 events. So all of the members of our group get 2 points automatically because they participate in the reciprocal program. So that would be $2,200. And we also help with other points. So I'm pretty confident we could help you get the outreach and the textile point, because I do PR, PSAs, and things like that. When we publish a newsletter, those things count towards those points. And I also can help with other things. I send out reminders, make sure you do this on your website to get these points. I work closely with Todd Kett too. Do you know Todd?
Yes.
Yeah, we work closely together on the grant stuff, because we want our towns to get the most money out of this program as they possibly can qualify for. I also am happy to fill out data surveys and grant applications, or help fill them out, do a Zoom meeting to do it together, provide any data that you need. I do get some of the data from some of the vendors that service multiple of our towns, so we don't have to go digging for it. So that's the grant stuff. We also have a number of regional contracts that we bid out. One of our longest-standing ones are brush grinding and compost screening. So we're about to vote on extending that contract at our October 30th meeting. We also have just bid out recently a transfer station hauling contract and a construction demolition and debris disposal contract. The C&D rate is $114 a ton. So our members are eligible to utilize those contracts if they want to. They don't have to. Nothing is required, or everything is voluntary. So, and of course, I'm available for any kind of technical support. In fact, I was just in Rockland helping Delshawn go over some contract and invoicing issues. If you're looking at any kind of policy, things like pay, you already have pay-as-you-throw, but if you're looking to update hauler ordinances or anything related to trash. I've been doing this for 30 years, even longer than I've been with SSRC. I've been here for 26. So, I eat, sleep, and breathe trash and recycling, and there's a lot of things that you need to know. I keep on top of vendors. They tend to approach me because they want to get in front of our board. We have a service provider at most of our meetings come and give a 15-minute spiel on what their services are like and what their pricing is like. I'll stop there. I sent you some links to the full list of benefits. I can explain the process of joining if you're interested in hearing that now, or talk about it after you decide. The cost, I'm sure it's top of mind for everybody. We have annual dues of $4,950, and which all our towns pay. And then there's a $500 hazardous waste administrative fee that we just put in per year. So if you have one event, it's $500. If you run 2 events, it's $750. Because I do put a lot of time into helping out with the hazardous waste days. So it's short money considering what the benefits are. You get your money back between RDP points. You can use $3,000 of your RDP funds for the membership dues, and $500 you can use RDP for the entire hazardous waste fee. So I'll stop there and take any questions if you have any.
All right, I'm going to ask my board members if they have any questions, and I always have questions. Any questions from the board?
I have questions. So can a town that participates, can their residents go to any of the events, all of the events? There's no limit to,
I
many
try
do you
to
go to?
limit it to 2 events a year. So I do registration too, I should have mentioned that. We have a registration process because we were having people lining up at 7 o'clock for a 9 o'clock event, which then you arrive and you can never get through that crowd. So we assign half-hour time slots for people. And on the registration form, it only allows 1 registration per email address, but I can go in the back door and open it and, do another one if there's a real need. But I don't want the towns to have ridiculous costs for people going to multiple events because it's expensive. So, 1 for spring and 1 for fall, but we can make exceptions.
okay, and then,
But they can go to any town, like they
Oh,
go to
yeah,
them
yeah.
if they wanted
and they have
to.
2 opportunities, basically, to go.
Yeah, and
That's a good
and more
question.
if, more if need be.
So would Marshfield, you're looking for Marshfield to host, would be hosting 2 a year, or
No,
1?
no, you could continue to host 1 because.
Okay, so we would be one of the list.
Yes.
Okay, and then, so why does visitors from Hanover and Hingham need an authorization form from their towns? I don't understand.
That is a very good question. I have been
It's a lot of
trying-
work.
I got it down from 5 towns to 2. But, they want to have control over which residents go and, they don't want to make it too easy for residents to show up. So, that's a vestige and I'd love to eliminate that option, but, if the town is concerned about their budget and they want to know how many people are going, and require getting a visitor form in addition to registering, then that's at the discretion of the town.
Because they register, so people register through you.
Yeah,
So in those towns, they register through you and they have to get a form from their DPW
Yeah.
as well?
yeah, I send out an email, because I get all this through the registration process. So I do send a reminder out to those towns, to the residents from those towns, to make sure you have your visitor form, or you're gonna have to pay.
That feels a little controlling.
Because
But Hanover does host, does Hanover host one?
They host 2, and their residents don't
Okay.
need a form for
Oh.
for their own home events.
Okay, it's just if they go to a different one.
Yeah.
And then my last question, I think it's my last question. Can you explain what the construction and demolition debris disposal, that's an additional contract, but what does that entail? Like that's offered to towns who participate.
Yes, if
As
you
an
remember, you
additional,
can
okay.
use our contract, yeah. So we put out a bid on behalf of our member towns. And we had a few bidders, and we awarded the contract to Rainham. It's Rainham Recycling Solutions of Rainham. Yes, they bid 114 for C and D, 124 for bulky, like sofas and things like that, and a couple of surcharges. We had a formula for awarding, so.
And they had a lower haul charge too, right?
Yeah, that was a separate, we also did a bid for haul, for transfer station hauling, and that was specific to each town. But, you can get a sense of what their rates are.
Does that typically save,
Bid sheet.
sorry to interrupt, does that typically save residents money on when they're disposing of, like, they redid their kitchen and they have,
Well, that would save the town money, and it would be up to the town whether they want to pass the savings along to the residents, or if they just want to avoid raising their rates sooner rather than later.
okay, so it does save money on that.
It seems like for the town.
Just because I've had people email me complaining about the cost of,
Yeah, what are you
Yeah.
charging and paying if you're for C and D?
it's $40 a,
35 or
$40
a ton, minimum one ton.
Oh, it should be more than that.
No.
Yeah.
Ken, what
That's
we
cheap.
paying?
$40 how much for?
You must be paying, yeah, that's cheap. You
Ken,
must be
what's
paying a
in it?
lot more than that.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
It's $40, but I don't know how much,
What's that?
Probably for a truckload, maybe?
they weigh it, I know, right, they
Yeah.
weigh it? Yeah.
Now I'm drawing a blank, but I think we're charging 80 for the residents, a half ton minimum, so 40 minimum, 80 per ton.
Okay,
That
so
sounds
you're
more like
you're subsidizing it.
Yes.
So anyways, if we joined, we would be able to look at that and see if it was saving money.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because
You
I've
look
had
at your
people
current, look at your current
reach out
contract.
on that.
Yeah, especially the disposal rates are just going up on every kind of material.
Yeah, just like everything.
So what's your C
And
and D
I
rate?
like that
Did you
they
say?
take tires.
What was your C and D rate?
114 a ton for the
14.
straight C and G.
We also do numerous tire events throughout the year too. So if Marshfield, like we just had one in Rockland, it was, each household was able to bring 5 tires for free. And Plymouth County Mosquito held the event, and they took all the tires for free. Was it like over 141 tires?
Yeah, something like that. That's a registration thing too, so, you know, we've collected.
At no cost to the resident.
Oh,
or
that's
to
good.
anybody that attended this event, yeah.
Okay.
So, there's so many different events that,
Yeah, we did mattress,
oh my
curbside
goodness.
selection.
And we all know that mattresses are very expensive to get rid of. That might be an RDP grant that you might not have applied for last year, or when it happened. So RDP is a grant that you can apply for, the mattress recycling grant.
Oh, the SMRF grant.
Yeah.
The RDP is part of the SMRF grant.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Oh.
another category. of
Okay,
it.
right. So you're able to get a free container for your mattresses, and they give you like a 2-year, I forget what the total grant is, but you don't have to pay for disposal of mattresses. It's all in the grant funding.
If that's still available.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not in your program, that's a grant.
Yeah.
But that's maybe an example of something you would help with.
Yes.
But the engineers are pretty good at getting grants, I think. anyway.
What's
Well, wait a minute, Bob, let me
RDP
ask
stand
a
for?
question.
Recycling dividend program, so that's something DEP, it's like an incentive program. They decide what kind of program elements in a municipal solid waste program are most effective at reducing waste. So like, for instance, pay as you throw, which you have. If you have a pay as you throw program, you get points. And if it's a 35-gallon cart for free, you get, 1 point or 2 points. I don't know off the top of my head. If you have a full pay-as-you-throw program where everything has to be in a bag or in a special, sticker or something, then you get more points. And I know that Marshfield, I mean, you
We have a
do,
combination.
yeah, you have a combination. Do you do a 35-gallon cart at the curb, or is it 64?
It's supposed to be 35.
35, yeah, okay.
Right?
So you get points for pay-as-you-throw.
Well, how do we sign up, how does the individual sign up, the resident? How would, what do you send do we send you an email, or?
You mean to join the South Shore Recycling
Say
Cooperative?
let's say we've joined it.
Oh,
Now, how does a resident bring, say, to Plymouth, or whatever one you want to pick?
well, if you authorize, if the DPW authorizes residents to go to any of our events, because at the beginning of the fiscal year, I send out what's called a blanket authorization form, and the town can decide whether to sign that, which means anybody from my town can go there and bring whatever they want. If they don't sign the blanket form, then they require the visitor form for the individuals.
Okay.
So that's up to the town, and of course, I encourage blanket because it's a lot of paperwork.
So how many residents could show up at, say, at Plymouth? How many Marshfield residents? Is there a limit?
No. I mean, there's a limit to how many people we can accept. Like, I think we've only got about 15 slots left for Saturday's event, so. But, it's first come, first serve as far as registering
But
goes.
how do they register?
So Claire sends out, she would probably provide, is it Patterson? Mr. Patterson, the flyer. And she also provides with little handouts to residents to let them know.
You have them, yeah, it's on the front of that handout
So
there.
that handout right there,
On the front, yeah, there's a
Oh, is that
QR
QR
code
code?
that goes right to the registration form.
Okay, there's a
Yes.
QR
And if
code.
people can't get online, they can call me, my phone number's on there. And I can go do it from in my office and on my computer.
So really, it's a win-win. Do we still pay the 25,000 to Trident for our own?
Yes.
That was 25,000.
Yeah, we don't pay for any of your disposal costs.
Okay, no, just to see, plus the registration, the 4950.
Yeah, so
Okay.
to belong to our cooperative and have access to our programs, it would be $49.50 plus 500, so $54.50 all
Right.
told, of which
We could use-
$3,500 can be out of your RDP funds.
Yeah, we could use some of the
Wanted-
points, whatever the,
Right.
credit card, you have points for spending.
Yeah, well, they give you actual money for the, so each point is worth $1,100, and depending on how many points you have, they just give you the money. And they expect you to spend it too, I mean, they're getting a little antsy about, a lot of towns aren't spending their money.
So just one more question. On the mattresses, we charge, Kenny, what do we charge for a mattress?
35.
35. Now, you say it would be free?
No,
Okay.
no, that, she was talking about a grant program.
Yeah.
That DEP ran, but I'm not sure it's gonna be offered this year. I don't think it was even offered
Oh, it
last
was
year.
offered last year.
Oh, was it?
It was, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I
good.
don't think we're eligible for that because we already have a program.
That's what I'm getting at. We
Because we already
already have.
have containers and we
Yeah.
already have a contract, so I think that was
Yeah, it
for
would be a-
startup program.
Oh, you have a contract?
Yes.
Who are
Yeah,
you
be a-
using?
Be somewhat of a
We're
conflict.
using Tough Stuff.
Okay, yeah, they spoke at our meeting last month.
Mm-hmm.
And they're picking up at the curb, or are they picking up at your transfer
They're
station?
picking up at the transfer station.
Okay, so you don't have a curbside option then?
We do have a curbside option with our Republic contract.
Oh, okay. And they bring it to your transfer station?
Yes.
I have one other question.
How do they get that in the bin with the, if it's all mixed with?
They send a special vehicle once a
Oh,
month
okay.
to go pick up.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
people
pretty
make
good.
appointments and they send a truck around. We have a certain number that we can do.
How do they pay the 35? They have to have a sticker from?
They have to call Donna and pay, and then they're reserved.
Okay, all right, just, yeah. like-
Sign up sheet more or less.
Yeah, no, they used to do that for water heaters. So. Okay, all right.
I have one other question.
Sure, go right ahead.
What are the hours of these events typically?
9 to 1.
Yeah, part of the problem was, the last one that some people missed was that they might have got there like right before 1, but then there was a line and they shut it off right.
Oh, yeah, we don't shut it off. If you're in line at 1, you're processed. If you're
Okay.
in line at 1:01, you're not processed.
Okay.
That's the same view now, pretty much.
Yeah,
Right,
so. we
but
just
they have another
cut it off.
opportunity, they have other opportunities if they missed it,
Yes,
is part of the point of this,
right. Once a year, it's tough.
Yep.
right?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Any other questions?
No, I'm all set. I'm fine.
So,
So-
in summation, it's about $5,500 to join the
Yes,
organization.
and we would prorate it if you joined, like if you joined beginning in November, we would prorate it by the month.
The advantages, the disadvantages is the cost of joining the program. The advantages are that allows Marshfield residents, not just one venue to get rid of hazardous waste, but many venues with administrative issues that we could control so that our costs don't go way out of whack. I was in favor of having been a member way back when. I've been on the board for a few years. When-
Yes,
when
you were on the board in 2009 when the vote
Yeah.
to withdraw yours.
So, other than discussion with the board, I'm in favor of going back into the organization. That's what my position is.
The next time.
I agree.
I agree too.
All right, so why don't we do a formal motion?
Sean, pull the board.
A motion to set aside in our budget $5,500 to join South Shore Recycling Cooperative with the other towns that are out there to allow our residents to participate in more than once a year hazardous waste day and other opportunities as it moves forward.
Mr. Kuzic?
Aye.
Aye.
Short? Mr. Shaughnessy?
Aye.
Unanimous, 3-0.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on the whole coalition itself.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more than just what we're talking about today.
And those folks at home that have questions about the South Shore Recycling Cooperative, there's a website, and if we're a member, you're more welcome to participate, and with all the other surrounding towns so that we can pull this hazardous waste that you have in your basement or in your garage. You just have to wait once a year, you can multiple times. I think it's a win-win situation. In my mind, it's a win-win situation. That one, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you very much. So we're going to be meeting on October 30th.
November 1st would be when we start.
If you want to, sure, yes.
We have to make a motion for that, yeah.
Do we have anything in the budget now, or do we have to wait?
I think we do, yeah, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd be prorated, you could take it out of RDP, most of it, up to $3,000, up to $3,500. I'll have to do the math on that. So the board, technically our board, according to our board bylaws, our board has to vote to accept you, and then you'll need to sign an intermunicipal agreement,
Okay.
which is
Okay, so they can do the math, they can just let, what I'm saying is, you can, and John, I agree, if you want to do it November 1st, we could, but if it's not, just go through the administrative process
All right.
and move forward.
Okay, if you do get in November 1st, your residents would have access to 2 collection events.
Right, Hull and Hanson.
Yep.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I contact Amy about the paperwork?
Contact Ken and myself.
Can you, okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Kevin
Thank you.
and Mr. Ryan.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So our next item on the agenda is the first action item, is an abatement issue of 40 Porter Street. Anyone home for 40 Porter Street? Okay. I'm going to turn this over to the superintendent, and he can explain it, and then the residents can talk about why they asked for an abatement. Hold on.
I have just looked into this like today. I didn't know much about it. A lot of this happened before I was here. I'm looking at the letter that the folks wrote. I mean, you want to go up front? Sure. Speak to us?
You can stay on that side of the table.
I think I want to.
Give you a little protection, you know?
You want to give us a little insight of what happened? So I can get up to speed as well.
First of all, thank you very much for having us talk about this. It's bothering us. We owned the house since '85. It was a cottage. We took it down. We rebuilt the house. So we've been in the house for 4 years now. Pretty much, we always pay our bills. 500, whatever, $400 or $500, or whatever the bill was, we always paid it. And pretty much, we got a bill for a little under $5,000 for the water bill. And nobody at all from the town told us that we're using way too much water or any figures on the cost of the water.
Well, it was an estimated, it was estimated bills for 4 years.
During COVID?
Well,
Before?
we needed a new water meter apparently.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it's read a different way now.
It
And
is.
so they called me, I don't know, whenever it was this year, and said, oh, we need to get in there fast and change it. Like, okay, well, and they came within a couple of days. But in the meantime, we've had estimated reads for 4 years, which was way underestimated. And now we have this huge bill, and we thought we were keeping up with our bills.
There's only 2 of us living in the house. Yes, we do have kids. We have 2 adult kids with a couple of grandchildren that we have. But we don't have a huge house full of people using the water. But I do have a small garden.
Yeah, so that,
use for watering the garden. But it's the reason why we sat down here tonight with our concerns of a high bill.
So let's talk about usage. All right? So it was estimated all the years, it was estimated on the previous years. From what date to what date did you take the house down and put the new house up? And what was a period in between that there was no use at all?
Yes.
Yes, there was no use at all when we had.
From what date to what date?
Fall of 220,
220 would be.
the fall of 220, oh no, actually in the summer. Late summer, September, say,
So
220.
9/20/22?
Yes.
Yes, nobody was living there.
22?
Yeah, 21, when we got the 220.
It says occupancy permit was on 3/22/21.
Right.
Right.
So from the fall, September,
So that was the previous year?
August of,
yes, that's when the house came down.
Okay.
They came down and they decided no.
Through-
So there was no use.
Right,
I'm just trying to define what, you should be paying for water if you don't need it, right?
right, there was no use
There was
then.
no use other than maybe,
Water bill.
6 months probably, right?
6 months.
3.5
So
years.
if you did 2020,
Not there.
January 2020, to when did you get, and then the occupancy permit,
Was February of 21.
21. So you were out of the house for a year while the house was being built.
Yes.
So you shouldn't pay any water for that year. Just kind of narrowing it down,
Okay,
I hope not.
agreed.
right? But I'm just saying, you
Agreed.
should, so I'm looking from a perspective of, counting the beans.
Right.
All right, so from the time that you took the house down to the time you got the occupancy to go in, there should be minimal bill at all, unless you were using the water to build the house, which you probably weren't.
No.
No, okay. So that's a 1 year issue. From then, you started, so occupancy was on, was March of 2021, right? And then you've been living in it since to 24, right? And those were the estimated ones,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
Correct, yeah.
So, and then, do we know, under the new bill, on the new meter, what is the average use?
I don't know, but I'm reading the notes right here, and at the bottom of the notes, it says to remove, I'm gonna say 191,000 gallons, 191K it says, use.
for the full time, you mean?
In other words, you were being overbilled for that amount, 191,000 gallons, because it's not, I don't know what that means.
Gee, I don't know. I don't know that we have the amount that we should use.
Let's just cut to the chase.
I'm with you, Bobby, because
Because the bottom line is,
the meter was
From-
the problem.
Yeah,
for cut to the chase, whatever your meter is now, whatever the period you had for the last period, the last 6 months, it should be the average amount of water that you use. And then we could go back into, to 2021 and say, you overbilled for that because your use is like whatever it is now. And then we give you an average for those back years. So you have to pay something, even though you're overbilled. We want to make sure that you're be whole, and you're billed at a normal rate, not an elevated rate.
Okay.
All right? I think that the year that you had demolition should be 0.
Thank you, appreciate that.
All right?
Yeah.
Then from 21 to current should be whatever the average rate it is now. And then whatever the difference is, you pay the difference on that. So, and your water bill is based on your sewer bill. Your trash bill, you have to pay trash anyway. It's an annual thing. So, basically, your water and sewer bill will be reflective of whatever 2 people living in a house, not, you know, having a small yard, it's not gonna be using a lot of water, so your bill's gonna be adjusted down. So why don't we do this? Can staff look into the amount?
I already said,
That's-
their average usage rate is 15.8. They have a maximum of 191 gallons on 3/5/2024. That's what they want knocked off.
Yeah, but the thing is, what is the average rate now? Is it 1508?
15.8 is average.
So go backwards to the years that they were overcharged and just charging them the 1508.
Yeah, I gotta, we have to look at it, but it's gotta be changed.
Okay,
We're gonna give you an abatement.
okay, thank you.
But the problem we have here is the meter.
The meter was not good, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
put a new meter in.
yeah,
We have the new meter
you have
now.
the new
March.
Yeah,
meter.
new meters in now.
Yeah.
So we just go backwards with your average use of the new meter.
I'll let Paul
Are
know in
you-
the morning.
Are you happy with, is that all right?
Yeah, that sounds.
So bottom line is, we're not gonna do nothing, you're not gonna get charged any interest, you're not gonna get any penalties, zero. Your bill is on hold,
Until we figure it out.
all right?
Okay, perfect.
The whole thing is on hold until we figure out what the average rate is now, and then we'll back charge minus the year that you did demolition, whatever the bill will be, is the bill will be.
It won't be anything like you have right here in front of you.
And
No, we gotta
that will include the sewer.
They'll
Yeah, that's
be
the,
tied, water and sewer,
Yeah.
tied to both.
So
Everything I ever-
sewer's gonna go right down.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so, all right, all right.
All right, so what, you should get back to us at a future meeting of what the dollars are in the abatement.
Well, we can get back to them sooner than that. but
You can
we'll
get back to them,
the
but
board.
we need, I wanna know and we'll make a policy, we'll make or make a motion to have them look into it and reduce it as appropriate as described.
I'm seconding that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, good,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
okay.
Oops, again, I'm in the chair.
All right, next item is our dreaded winter coming up. Road salt sanding contract signatures. Sean?
Yes, sir. We have contracts for our salt bids. And I think Morton Salt did it again, which doesn't surprise me. And we'd like to get these taken care of before winter starts.
Okay, so, on September 26, 2024, the town of Plymouth accepted regional road salt bids. The bid number was 22423. Road salt lowest bid was awarded to Morton Salt Incorporated for $57.31 per ton. All right? The motion from the superintendent is asking the board to accept the bid of Morton Salt Incorporated and authorize the superintendent to enter into the contract with the approval of the board.
Second.
So make that motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll sign that. Okay. Other than that, that's what we need to talk about. That's it, right?
Yes, on the salt, yeah.
So, okay. And then the second is, so that's item number 2. Item number 3,
We're increasing the snowplow rates. Of course, I left the sheet in my office, but the current rates, I'm just gonna say, I want to go up 10%, I can send the board, the figures I have.
let's go on that's for the salt. We need to talk about the sand. Because there's sand component in here, it's not divided up. Okay, the second component of this is the sand rate. On September 26, 2024, the town of Marshfield accepted regional road sand bids, bid number 22422. The road sand lowest bid for our town is $18.85 per ton by G. Lopez Construction Incorporated. Attached to the bids for your review, I recommend that G. Lopez Construction be awarded the sand contract for Marshfield. So So I'll make the motion
For Lopes,
to Lopes Construction in the amount of sand contract to $18.85 per ton, and authorize the superintendent and the board to authorize the superintendent to enter into the contract.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, so that deals with item number 2. Am I getting this right?
No, you're right, I was wrong.
Okay. There's a lot of paper here. You got a lot of paper? I'm reading through it all.
Now we're on the other one.
Thank God I went to Evelyn Wood's speed reading class. All right. Okay, so that's item number 2. Item number 3, increase the hourly rate for snow and ice contractors.
That's correct.
Okay.
I've been approached by many of our contractors, and they'd like to know if we're going to go up on the rates because of the fuel costs and the insurance costs to maintain their vehicles, and I've asked some other towns, and everybody's going up 10% on their rates, and I'd like to do the same.
All right, so I would like to
Make a motion.
get a list.
I have a list.
I'd like to see that. I'm not negative towards raising the rates, but I want to see what the numbers. I'd like to see what the DOT is paying, and I would like to see what the surrounding towns are paying.
We're trying to go with the other people so we can maintain our contract.
No, I get that.
I'll give you the rates.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to allow the superintendent to negotiate an increase in hourly rates to snow and ice contractors that are similar to DOT and surrounding town rates. And then to report back to the board what those rates are.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so you have authorization to move forward.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is engineering services base Ave seawall, number 4.
I'll take that one, Bob, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, the town of Duxbury is in the process of rebuilding the seawalls down in Duxbury Beach, and then it goes all the way to the Marshfield town line. There's just a 50-foot section of seawall that is actually in Marshfield. So we would like to go ahead and get permitting to actually go ahead and rebuild that little section so that it's all one contiguous seawall. And what we would do is, Northern Construction, who we've used a lot in Marshfield, is doing that construction in Duxbury, so we would later on try and get a change order on Duxbury's contract with Northern to add this Marshfield extension, and then get a memorandum of understanding with Duxbury where we would reimburse Duxbury for the area of the seawall that would be built in Marshfield. But at this point in time, all we're looking for is a $6,500 budget to go ahead and do the permitting. And we would do the permitting with PGB Engineering, which is Mr. Brennan, who we use all the time. And he's done all the design work for Duxbury. And he went out and did the whole Duxbury job and got the permits for that. So we already have authorization of some seawall money. There's still like $300,000 left, and we're only asking for $6,500 for this. So our recommendation is to authorize a contract award in the amount of $6,500 to PGB Engineering, which was formerly Amory Engineering, and it would take about 3 to 4 months to get this permitting work done.
Comments on the board?
Right, I remember when, I think, Rod talked about this.
Yes.
And you guys kind of weren't sure which way you were gonna go on it, but you can't really just end the
Correct.
wall because of the height.
Yes.
So if we extend, if it does go forward after the engineering, and it extends that 50 feet, it comes to the opening.
Yes.
So there's not gonna be a wall, and then a shorter wall,
So,
and then a big opening.
yes.
Okay.
Is that Avon Street
I have a comment.
opening?
Yes.
Yeah, Avon.
Go ahead, John.
I'm gonna vote for this for Pat Brennan, but I'd like to bring everybody up to speed about Pat Brennan. Back when we did the dredge spoils in the parking lot over there, he sent an email to Jason Zimmer, who is the wetland expert. I have it here. And he asked them to look at the plant species and the soil in the entire area, find out if it's wetlands. So the email back from Jason is, it's not worth flagging because it's jurisdictional wetlands. So it was all wetlands. And Mr. Brennan wrote back to him, and this is about that big 110 vehicle parking over at Drywood Way. So he wrote back to him, he says, okay, thanks, Jason. If the entire area is jurisdictional, then the project will likely not move forward. Pat Brennan. Well, then the magic erasers come out, and Kilcoyne and Grafton went over there, and they declared it, they walked the property, and not wetlands. And that was what they Grafton and Kilcoyne. They also did this. The board and the selectmen called my accusations, egregious accusations and misinformation in the Patriot Ledger, spread by a member of the Board of Public Works, and they named me John Cusack. So I'll vote for this, but I want everybody to be aware that Patrick Brennan used his stamp as a professional engineer to con the public into believing that that area was not wetlands. And I have it right here. I have all the emails. So, Mr. Brennan committed fraud in my book. But I'll vote for that because it concerns Duxbury. But I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed. And we used the PJB or whatever he wants to call himself now. We might want to start looking for someone else. We always seem to use the same contractors over and over and over again. So it's time we start broadening that, in particular, to how he wants to play the game and make it, and just do away with the wetlands. Oh no. And he throws a carrot out to Jason. He says, oh, I got other work for you. They don't like me talking about this, but it's on camera, and that's what it is. It's a fraud. You have anything to say?
No, about that, no, but I do think that we always use the same people, so I'm gonna vote for it too, but I'm just wondering why it's always the same people and how come other engineering firms don't, like, get a shot at these
Yeah,
projects?
and this, I can't speak for all of the projects, but for this particular project, they were the ones who did the whole design.
Because it was for, because they already did it. Yeah, but I mean, just in general.
Well, you said you
It
use
would
them
be
all the
nice to
time.
kind of broaden our horizons a little bit and see if other engineering firms can come in with new perspectives in the future.
We do.
I understand that
We get a lot of
this is,
bids, a lot of
yeah.
people, but some of them just don't meet the qualifications.
It seems like the town always uses the same people. I know it's like habit and
It's
you're
like they know
familiar
something
with them,
everywhere.
but
Yeah, but he showed his colors.
No, I understand.
You know, he showed his
So,
colors.
yeah, so
I know
noted
what he is.
that,
The fraud.
that there should be competition in, not just in contractors, but in consultants too.
and consultants, right? That's what
So
we
there should be,
wanna know.
we should spread out the work.
Yeah, and we have a bid on the street right now for that Dyke Road rehabilitation project.
Yeah, I know the bids always go out to, and whoever bids, whoever sends in a bid, you look at them. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking
always
about
the
with
same one.
consultants.
So
You know.
so on this particular one,
Yeah.
our hands are, it's more economical and feasible to get it done, is to add the extra 50 feet and have the designer, who already did the rest of the seawall, included in it.
Agreed.
So, we don't want to change the consultant for this particular job, but
Right.
it's
I'm
so
gonna vote for
noted
it.
that we do need to spread the work out.
I'm gonna vote for
Yeah.
it, Bobby.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to award contract 2025-15 to PGB Engineering LLC of Marshfield, in the amount of $6,500 to design and permit a 50-foot section of seawall in Marshfield along Bay Avenue, and have the chairman or designee to authorize to sign the contract when the documents are prepared. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And so note that moving forward, that we would like to see new blood on engineering consulting side of the house.
Okay.
Next
you,
item
Walt.
would be item number 5 on the action list is Plymouth Avenue Pump Station Holding Tank Repair and Pipe Lining.
Yeah, so there's no action on this tonight. We just got bids in. We had to delay the bid opening because we had a couple addendum that we sent out. So we just got bids, just so you're aware, it's like our 2 bids were $385,000 and $435,000, so we're talking around $400,000 of a change order that will come back to the board with when we evaluate those bids.
Okay.
And what was the engineer's estimate on that? Is it higher or lower than?
It was
your
lower.
estimate? Lower?
Mm-hmm.
So the numbers come in higher?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that concludes the action items for the evening. And now we're going to go into a discussion with the issue of cemeteries. We have Couch Cemetery, which we're looking at a number of issues and revising the rules at some point, and we're moving forward, but it's slow. So is anyone here for Couch Cemetery? Yeah. Okay, good. We are moving forward. So Sean, last time we met, since then, we've got the plan. There are a number of sections. There's a center section, and then there's areas going around it. The center section has no headstones, it's going to be flat. The section that you guys are concerned about, we are looking at trying to get some kind of marker, small headstones. We're not going to just have flush mounted, we can allow some. We just have to determine what it should be, and so it's across the board from a holistic design standpoint. So your concern was that you did not want flush-mounted headstones. You wanted
You want
headstone.
markers.
You wanted full, and what our concern is that we want to have them all uniform. We don't want to have them. We want to have everything uniform, and it's a design issue, and which is a lot more than we did the last time we were here. So we're moving forward. We're just moving slow.
What's the timeline?
And cautious.
What's the timeline?
Explain to them what's.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Timeline will be rather quickly, all right? So I'm gonna give credit to what credit's due. Matt and Diane have sat down and gone over the rules and regulations, and Matt got some information from other towns about how to proceed. But I will say that Matt came to my office one morning and said that we can put headstones in. I may have put down the wrong section in the minutes,
Yeah,
in the agenda.
that was my question, because we started in question.
Yeah, and that's my
Section
fault.
4.
I wasn't gonna go and recreate the agenda, and
Fine.
at the last minute, I wanted to explain to everybody what was going on. That was my mistake. It's open for discussion. But I will say that Matt, Amy, and Diane have gone above board to recreate or redesign these regulations to make them suitable for everybody. And I have to give Matt credit that he stepped up to the plate and said that we can put a smaller headstone in those areas and make it work for everybody. So we are working on that. And I don't see a problem with the headstones going forward. We just gave the information to the board this morning in their packets about the rules and regulations and how we're going to change them and make them more compliant to everybody and compatible for everybody. So we heard your needs and we understand. So is it going to take a long time? I don't think it is. We've already crossed that, made around that curve with the rules and regulations. And I think with Matt bringing it to our table about the headstones, we're going down the right track, and I don't see it taking a long time at all. I can't give you a definitive answer when, but I would say before the end of the year.
Before the town meeting in the spring.
Okay, so if you already know that you have to vote on this, is that what we're waiting
But
for?
we're gonna have to review it. I mean, the whole board hasn't seen the whole plan, and we haven't decided what headstones should be, you know, it would be uniform.
Well, he's gonna, let him tell you what help.
Okay, good.
For size.
Okay, so there is a standard smaller stone that we use. I think I talked to.
Me.
Yeah, and
I
basically.
saw you up at the
I
parade.
was showing her different, like, stones and stuff. I wasn't saying that we have this and that, they're gonna, you know, anything gonna change. But a 2-footer goes 2, and the base is 1 foot, so it's 2 feet wide, and then it goes up to 3 feet high. So they're not super small, I mean, they're large stones, but they're just not, we're not allowing those larger 3 to 4 foot stones. So they get a 2 foot, which is actually a substantial stone. It is smaller, but it is a standard size.
So we haven't had an internal discussion, and the board hasn't had a discussion with it either, of what is, I'm gonna speak for myself, I'd like to, because this is the new section of the cemetery, I would like to be, whatever we end up doing, it's gonna be consistent across the board, that you're not gonna have a mixed match of a big stone, little stone, big stone, little stone. I want, from my perspective, all uniform.
Can I ask this why, like the whole cemetery, when I'm up there frequently, but the whole cemetery, the way it is designed now, and there's so much, I could go, but that's not what I'm here to talk about, but what would be the purpose of ensuring that that particular section is in the same, and I'm not against it, I'm just curious as to the why to be uniform, what the value is?
Well, it's the value of the whole design, not just this one section. There is, and I'm just gonna go see if I can look at the, I took a picture of it, and there was like, you don't have the plan in front of you, there's like 7 sections, and then there's one in the middle, that there's no, so I wanted to make sure that the outer sections complement the middle section, so that, and then whatever we pick from a standpoint, it's all uniform.
I'm just curious
Yeah.
what the value is.
Go ahead.
You know, so I can, now, this cemetery was an expansion because we ran out of graves. And in doing so, we had to have an engineer to be workable. So it's this cemetery, look at the design, it's circle, it has a centerpiece. And then when we had a creative architect come in and design that, it was very expensive to have that design made. So we also have to have machines work that area. So that's why, if we can't actually, like he's saying, the workability and the design of it is all incorporated. So if we don't work with what they laid out, I mean, it would make it almost impossible to work with machines and everything else. We have to get an excavator in there. We have a small easement to actually do the digging, and everything was designed around engineering. And then the centerpiece being the columbarium site. So, but yeah, I mean, if they're willing to do, you know, changes, we could actually work with that. But we're definitely restricted in the size just because of the workability of that site. So, you know, each cemetery has its own design, and that's why we have to take that into consideration.
I was just curious.
So if this was a known design,
Yes.
why wasn't it documented somewhere? And why weren't we told this before we bought the plots?
Okay, so were you there when we made the purchase?
I'm sorry?
Were you there?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm asking, were you there when I made?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so I told everybody when I was there making the sale that we're only going to do flat markers. We've never had a handout documentation, so this is new.
But why? Like every town
So,
around
I'm not
has,
gonna-
you go on the website, there's
Yeah,
no,
you
we're
gotta
not told
take
what
it over,
day
Robbie,
to
come on.
Wait a second, wait a second, tell him. I'm not gonna go backwards, I'm gonna go forward, all right?
We would like
have-
to
we
go
have-
forward.
We have a good design, all right? We need to work the design. We never have finished the design with the consultant to begin with, about getting into the details of how the whole thing is. We're looking at it from a standpoint of, we want it to be, it's a new section. I don't want it to go, the rest of the couch with all the lines going through it, it looks like the Marshfield Drive-In Theater. I mean, you just pull up. I didn't want that when we first designed, put the new design in. I want it to be a very nice, peaceful, consistent place where our loved ones end up.
That's fine. And
I really don't want to rush into it because I want a head start, I want to know what it is now, and I want to blame somebody.
And I have a 90-year-old father who wants a head start.
So,
People can't speak over each other, and you do need to state your name and address before speaking.
So I'm
And raise your
gonna
hand.
say this.
Please.
This is a work in progress. I said this the last time we were here, that when we come up with the final designs and you want to have input, I'm gonna allow you to have input. All right, but you have to look at it from a standpoint, it's not just this one section or this section. I want the whole thing to be consistent. And that takes a little bit of time. And just bear with me. And the superintendent just said, oh, by the end of the year. No, I don't think so. It's probably more like town meeting perspective, because we need to work through it over time. And I really want to have people's input. Your input.
Okay, so my name's Patricia Donegan. I'm
Okay.
92 Springfield Avenue from my mom, Kathleen Wright. And that's fine. I think the old section is lovely, and that's fine. All I'm saying, there's no information. People should be able to know.
Right, we're
ahead of
working
time.
out the information. We're working out.
Even now, we were here in June, and that pamphlet, that's
Yeah.
not on the website already?
So we are working, so I put together some information, and I'm gonna be redoing the brochure, but Matt has information also that's going on the website. That'll be, a form that has all the rules on it. And then when people buy a plot, they also receive that and sign it.
Right, but you could do research ahead of time, most of the towns, and that's fine, I understand. But I've been looking at your minutes going back to 2015, and we've been talking about updating the rules and regulations since then.
Yes.
It's the Cemetery Commission. So what are the rules that are currently or were in place when my father was buried? I would like that information.
So hold on one second, Matt.
Okay, we do have the current rules and regulations. This is actually current. The only thing that's been changed is the headstones. She's actually, we were in discussion about putting almost like a link.
Yeah.
Or on the website, we can click on it. Actually, other towns, I've looked at some of the stuff that they have like a PDF file, click on it.
Yeah.
Now, other towns don't, same as us, don't have a lot of towns don't have a document you have to sign. But this rules and regs, we've had since Lee Cannon and before. So I do have this. I mean, it's just basically standard stuff. Do we enforce it to the T? I would say, it's always negotiable with the person and stuff like that. So we do have rules and regs. I mean, I'm sure I could give them a copy.
No, well, we're in the process of the board reviewing it.
Right.
All right, it's not, and the bottom line is that the rules are in limbo.
Right.
And because we're moving forward. We have, in buying a plot is like buying a piece of real estate. There's a legal component to it too. So I want to make sure that what we move forward, and if you don't like it, we're trying to be consistent across the board. We do have a new cemetery where we didn't have a cemetery. We were running out of space. So at least we were able to, Tom Reynolds and our architect, move forward, and we have certain sections that already have the vaults already in there. That you buy the lot and the vault is there, because we want to make sure that there was no disturbance moving forward when someone passes, that we're not having, it doesn't become a construction site, it's just opening the grave up and all the accessories are there. So, and I want it to be consistent across the board. I don't want to have all these different zones all over the place, and it's a new section, and I think we have time to really think about it and get input of, do we need big stones on everything? I don't think so. Do we need flat stones? I don't think so. I think there's a combination somewhere in between that we can collectively work together. And the board really needs to concur with it. It's not a staff function that makes that rule, it's the board that makes the rule.
When we're clear on all of the rules and sections, then we're gonna have a map also on the website where it's gonna be, however the IT person labels the section, so that when people go on the website and they go on Couch Cemetery, they can see a map of it, and they'll see, you know, if you buy a plot in this section, you're gonna have the plaque. If you buy a plot in this section, you're gonna have the smaller than, you know, or whatever, the 2 foot by, was it 2 foot stone? And then, you know, all the different sections are labeled on there. So it'll be clear to people when they look at the website. And then also the form that has that information, and then all the information about, like, what this has is Christmas decorations and plantings and bird feeders and can you use a bench and stuff like that. All those rules are also in that form.
Yes.
Right, but that's already been in place, but the lack of communication around the area that was just plaques has definitely been unfortunate, and that's why all of you are here, I think. So that's what we're working on fixing, but first, it's just a process. And then once we make a decision on everything and get everything, you know, written up and stuff, then we have to wait for the IT people to, it's just gonna take a little bit of time.
So I have a question. Mary Riley, my mom passed away, it'll be a year in November.
I'm sorry.
So my dad is gonna be 91 years old and he wants a headstone. So
He will get one.
what do I tell him? How-
And this is the section that we're talking about this
The new
section.
section,
Okay.
4. So I know when I met Matt, I was up there one day and he showed me the size and I said, that's perfect, you know, whatever. Why is it gonna take so long? Why are we talking the spring that this is gonna be settled?
Well, we're not, I mean, nobody's saying an exact date, you know what I mean?
But if
Matt's
you
the
already have
expert
the
on this.
measurements and you already, it's gonna be all uniform, like
I
when
wanna
will we
make-
be able to order a headstone?
Matt, do you wanna take that? or-
Right now, I can't even pour foundations.
No, I know that because my mom passed in November. We couldn't do anything until the spring.
He's
I
gonna
know
have a
that.
headstone. If he's in that section, we're committed to allowing that size headstone in that section. But getting it on paper and legal on the website and, you know, the paperwork that has to be signed and everything, that's what's gonna take some time. And we have to vote on. It has to be before us as a motion and we have to vote
I
on
thought
it.
that's what we were here for tonight, to be honest with you.
Well, but it's not happening today.
Well, it's a discussion
But it won't
item,
be happening, but
not an
the thing
action item.
is, this is more of an update of where we
we're at.
are on it.
Okay. I already knew that because I
And-
spoke to Matt.
So if we're
Oh,
moving
good.
forward, and we know we're moving forward, and we know what the sizes are, the people that are buried there currently, why can't we order those headstones now?
No, because we haven't made a final decision on it yet.
But you just
I
told me you.
understand it.
you
I
just
know
told me
what you
that-
want, but it's not gonna happen until I have public input.
But I was just, I
But
just.
public input from the town of Marshfield or from us?
Public input is that you have a normal,
Can we get this on the next meeting as an action item?
say,
Can we get this on the next meeting?
No.
As an action item?
it's too early.
It's a waste of time.
We're going, I wanna have a
I say
meeting.
yes too.
I wanna have a meeting with the headstone vendor to give us a list of what type of headstones are available that are commonplace and that would be consistent so that we actually can have a viewing of what we want to do. I mean, right now, we're just talking pie in the sky, and that we want to make sure that what we see and have the plan up, and look at the plan and say, this is based on the original, the new design, what type of headstone should go in what sections.
I mean, I can call immediately if you guys
Right.
want, so if you guys want.
I'm gonna do everything I can to get this on as an action item at our next meeting.
Thank you.
So,
Because
just let me know.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go out and see the cemetery.
When you go
and
to the,
walk it with you this week.
It's like,
As an action.
yeah, they know what the 2x3 is or the 3x2 is.
Right.
And they know that. They show you what you can, Matt showed me.
So,
Can I make a comment?
Yes,
First of all, I
your
want to
name
thank,
and address, please.
I'll refer to Susan, I live on Massasoit Ave. First of all, I want to thank Matt. He did a very nice job on the grass and it finally grew. I know it was tough conditions this summer, so thank you. It looks really, really good. And then the other thing I would ask, is there opportunity as you're using this to, talk about the headstones. And I know it's so hard to enforce because grief is a tough thing, right? But is there opportunity to put some guidelines about how stones are decorated? It just seems like it's all over the board.
There's all kinds of stuff in here about what's allowed and not allowed. So, but like Matt said a few minutes ago, he's not like a Nazi about it. No offense to anybody, but
It's
you know,
so
it's
difficult.
Yeah.
So we
We can't-
enforce
yeah.
rules when people are suffering or grieving. You know, I lost both my parents, I lost my nephew, and he was only 18, so I get it. And I have to credit Matt and the crew. We do kind of look the other way sometimes, but there has to be a line, a limit to what we allow.
Yeah,
I just wanna
think
make one
that
last
if it was
comment.
Published,
Okay.
if it was
Hang
published,
on.
people would get it in their minds that I can do this, I
Yeah,
can't do
that's
that.
what we're working on.
So
Versus-
that's what I was talking about, sorry to interrupt you, just so we can get to the next person. That's what I was talking about with the website information. That's what we're looking at here. That's what, Matt has had that form that when anybody buys a plot, they sign it. But that's gonna be also on the website. The map's gonna be on the website, a little blurb about each cemetery, even though this is the only one that's selling new plots on the website. That's all in process. We've been working on it, and then Bob's gonna do a tour, and it'll all come together. So I'm hoping
So
that it's
what
gonna
are
be
we
an
saying?
action item in the next meeting, I hope. I'm
To
gonna
expedite
try.
what we were saying, since we all met last time, we've come a long ways with the regulations and moving forward and trying to accommodate all you folks. So, it's not like
I
we
get it.
pushed it aside, it's something we took seriously, we've been in
Yes.
contact with Mr. Galvin and so forth.
And-
We are getting this done.
There was another.
You had a comment?
From 92 Springfield Ave, Erin McDonough. So and I appreciate all this, and I agree with you, but I think emotions are high because it's the lack of information,
Yep.
and that the first email that I sent was May the 31st, and we're still here. So, understand the frustration, and we're not, I think all of us combined as a group, trying to come across as we want this size of a headstone when we were there during that grieving period at McDonald's Funeral Home, where I would suggest that's probably a great starting point to have the grieving families that are sitting with Stevie to know that there are restrictions, because maybe other choices would be made. If we knew, most certainly, no way ever in the future would we be able to have a headstone, maybe we would have decided to pick another location, but my father lived in Marshfield. We were all raised in Marshfield. They're married 60 years. That's where my mother wanted. So I just want you to understand, because I sometimes feel with this tone that we're coming across as
No, we are.
family members that want that headstone. We were never really ever clearly told why, ever.
Yeah.
People can say what they've said, and I don't want to rehash, but I just want you to all understand that. And it would be a great idea to possibly walk by or drive by if you haven't. I have video
yeah.
footage to see, and we greatly appreciate, I do personally, that type of a headstone. Like, we're not asking for much.
Yeah.
Just
No.
for an 80-year-old guy that, was loved and adored this town, to have some sort of respect. And we get, we're not fools that it's not gonna happen in 6 weeks' time, but when you wanna appreciate time, I sent that first email to spearhead this on May the 31st.
And can I just add?
Right, and where I'm in,
But I still don't understand what the timeline is, and that's the
oh,
frustration.
sorry, we need your name and address, but also I'm in
Warren
contact
County
with the
and
funeral
92
homes
Springfield.
also.
That's the
So,
problem.
and they will be provided
Yeah,
with the
that would be
information
great.
as well.
Yeah.
But if you have a comment, we need your name and
Okay,
address.
Mara Callahan, 92 Springfield. I'm just saying, even after this conversation, if you just said it's gonna be a year, then we would leave with the expectation that it's gonna be a year, but we can't get it, we hear it's gonna be quick.
I'll
It's
make
not
a
till next
timeline right
spring.
now.
That's all, I just get us an answer so we can go back to my
Okay,
mother and
I'm gonna give you
say,
a timeline.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a timeline.
thank you. We just wanna bring this
We
back.
can't
to our-
put foundations until next spring,
Okay.
all right?
But we know
All
that.
right? And I'm gonna eat these words, but by next town meeting in the spring, and we'll be able to put foundations in, you'll have your answer.
Thank you.
I'm looking
But it-
for
but it
us to
takes
get
a
this
few
on
minutes.
as an action item, meaning we'll vote on the size of the headstones and the other rules and regulations. I would like to see that as an action item by our next meeting, which would put it in stone that we are doing this, and
Not
this
gonna
is
happen
how
that
it's gonna
fast.
happen.
I don't think it's
We'll
gonna
see.
happen, because it's two, we'll have a meeting twice a month, it's 2 more weeks. I'm saying
see.
that we need to have input from other people and the public of what the draft rules and regulations should be with the headstones, and I get input from the public, you are the public, of what the rules are, because I'm looking for feedback. We're not dictators here, we're elected officials, and we represent you. So, I want to have, we can have a draft rules by next meeting, and then we can get input from people. But we're not gonna have final rules until the ground is not frozen, and we can put foundations in.
I have a comment.
Then that would be a good time to try to get the final rules. We can get the draft rules out and get comments over 2 months.
I have a question,
Please
so,
hold on a moment, please.
Go ahead.
So we've had this on as a discussion item. Is this the second or third time?
second.
The second, okay. The agendas have been posted each time in advance. I also post them on Facebook. I've had conversations, several, with Matt, emails with residents, going back before we even had this on as a discussion item, conversations with McDonald Funeral Home. I've worked on creating some stuff for the website and met with Sean, and I think that we can have the rules on for an action item next meeting. I'm respectfully disagreeing with my chairman, but that's my hope. So we're gonna have to leave it at that as far as that goes, but know that we are working on it. And that would put people in the position of being able to order something. I think the public has been, we have gotten feedback from the public because you're here. You were here at the last meeting.
So,
I don't know who else we're looking for
I don't like
feedback from,
disagreement,
but
I think we need to, we can, at the next meeting, we can put together draft.
Right, well, we'll see. We can just
And
end
then
that.
draft means that not final, that we still can have input. And I'm looking for input from residents.
They're here.
So,
We're gonna put it
so
on the
my,
website.
I know you said the spring, because you can't pour the foundation, I know that, but we ordered my mother's flat marker, and that took 3 months. So
Right.
what, like you said,
Yes.
what I would
Order.
like
Right. They're
is to
looking
get
for-
the rules and regulations, or what size I can get, so I can order it to be installed.
We're gonna work, okay.
But
I'm
he, but
committed. We're
originally
gonna
he
work on
said
it, right?
the spring.
I get it.
Like if I wait till the spring, it's gonna
I
be
do.
August
Okay.
by the time it
I'd like to
comes.
speak, if I
Yeah.
could, please.
Yeah, please.
So, Mr. Superintendent, go ahead.
I agree with Diane, okay, respectfully. We, at the next meeting, can let these folks know what size stone we can get and how, what they can order.
Perfect.
Right,
So if they want to pre-order before spring, they have it.
right.
Now, as far as the regulations go, I'm okay with letting a draft be seen or discussed at the next meeting, and you can vote on it whatever you want, but I think we need to move forward with the stones. I talked to Matt several times, and if he tells me no, then that's fine. If he says, no, we can do this, I'm very confident in his decision going forward. I think we need to move forward with this. I'm tired of dragging this out. It's not fair to anybody. Not fair to me or him or anybody else that has to deal with this, or the folks.
Thank you.
I just think we need to move forward.
Okay, so
Okay.
what, so, I'll
Somebody.
I'll change, wait a second, I'll change my position a little bit, modify it. The next meeting, we'll have draft rules,
Okay?
all right? For the section that your folks are interned in, that we will give you whatever the stone is going to be, that you can redo that.
Thank you.
But bottom line is that there's other sections out there that we look at the whole thing, it's a work in progress. I'm looking at it from a holistic approach, you're looking at it from one section. I'm looking at making sure that the intent of building a new cemetery was consistency.
I agree.
And that's what I'm looking for, I'm kind of staying hard on that. But we will, and I'm saying that most highly, because I lost my mother, my father's gone, and my brother, and I understand it. It's nice to have a respectful place you can go visit. And remember the good times with them, and, you know, versus having something that is haphazard, and it's hard to manage, it's hard to maintain, and it's difficult to intern anybody, that we want to make sure that it's done right. And this is, we cleared the slate to do it, and I'm going to say it again, all the past, and when 2014, when I was on the board, I looked at, it looked like the Marshfield Drive-In Theater, the old drive-in theater, you pull in, and it's all, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be an architectural pleasing component to it, and I'm staying on that ground.
And we can
Then we do that. And I want to be consistent across the board. I just don't want to have a chair, a bench, a big stone, a little stone, things. I want to be consistent across the board.
No,
Okay.
that's rules and regulations, but
Perfect.
let these folks.
Fine.
We had one other, we can
Last
take
one,
one
last
other.
word.
Al Clark, 184 Holly Road. We purchased and used the plot in late November, early December. Is that the section we're talking about? With the headstones? Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
When and I'm going to get back, when I first heard about this, I thought it was the center section where we wanted to have all the interments for cremations, where we wanted it all flat. So there's a misunderstanding, because I asked when we first had the meeting, where's the plan? I want to see the plan to do it. So we have come a long way, and we're working together. And no one's put this thing under the rug. It's up front, but I do also want public input.
Yeah, let's just move on.
From there.
Okay, next time. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, John, for moving us on. Let's have a discussion on the superintendent's one-year evaluation coming up.
What do we discuss on that? Do we fill out a form or
Fill out the
something for
form.
that?
The guys filled out the
Yeah.
form.
Yeah, okay, so we'll get a form to fill out? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
We'll get it.
All right, I'll give you the form.
Supposed to be.
I'll pull out the form.
Oh, it's not in here.
No, I
There's
didn't say
form.
that.
Okay.
We'll
You have it.
We'll email it out.
Oh,
As
great.
part of this contract.
Okay.
That's why I brought up
Okay.
this discussion, because I just knew it was coming up.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah. So, the superintendent will send it out individually. We don't have to talk about,
Okay, so we'll be
and
receiving.
you give each evaluation and go one-on-one with the superintendent.
Perfect, okay, great.
Okay? So, and Sean, we'll talk about this week.
Next meeting?
No, we'll talk about
Oh.
the process this week.
Okay,
All right, let's vote on the open meeting agenda, open meeting minutes, 9/16.
yep, I read them.
I read it.
I'll make a motion to accept
Second,
the minutes of September
60.
16th.
Okay.
16th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that covers that.
Okay.
Superintendent's report, Mayflower and Country
Hey,
Way
we got-
drainage.
Wait a minute, will you?
Oh,
We got vote to accept minutes of 08/12/24, is that?
just one section,
One sec.
one section.
Just one set?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, just the 16.
Oh, okay, all right, my mistake.
Okay,
Sorry, Amy, you were right. Get her all shook up.
okay.
All right.
Do we have any back?
I'm the old guy,
meetings
over 80.
that never-
Did you hear them?
Minutes?
That old guy over 80.
One more, okay.
I almost corrected him.
Okay, so we're up to date, almost up to date on
I played hockey.
Okay, good. Okay, so the next item is superintendent's report, Mayflower and Country Way drainage project.
I'm gonna let Ken speak on that, because he's been over there working with them diligently.
We should be done with all of the structures tomorrow. So we're in the intersection of Mayflower right now. We work from Ocean Street, work on our way down Country Way. And so we've got one more catch basin to put in tomorrow to connect up to a drainage manhole that's in the intersection. And then we'll be done with all those
Storm drain.
storm drains, yes.
What size is that, 8, 12, 8?
12-inch concrete,
I saw it.
yes.
Cool. So that will take all those drainage
Yes.
problems away, and then next is paving.
Yes,
Yes.
well, I'll touch on the page.
Okay.
Once Ken's done with his part,
I'm done.
he'll be in with, do the paving probably early November, and we'll be done with that.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, that takes care of it, yeah, that's the only place we're gonna pay for the fall. And the other stuff is, fall cleanups, and we got all the lane painting done finally, and, that's where we're at.
You cleaning the ditches out on Plymouth Ave?
Some of them, yeah.
Well, we're putting together a permit application we're trying to go through the Conservation Commission to get a blanket approval so we could do all the cleaning of all these drainage ditches.
Across the road?
All over the place. We tried to put everything in. Unfortunately, the DEP kind of shot us down and said it was too all-encompassing, so we're trying to work with DEP to kind of figure out how to do what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so the ditches on the, going towards Red Rock on the right-hand side, they'll be clean.
Well, we're trying to get the
Yeah,
permits
I
to do it,
understand
yes.
that, I'm just jumping ahead.
Okay.
I think if it happens, it happens.
Yes.
But the drainage coming from the different Roosevelt buildings, Adams, different roads that are there.
Yes.
That have drainage coming across Plymouth onto that ditch.
You're saying structures in the road
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, because the one almost collapsed up there by,
Mhm.
just before Roosevelt.
Mhm.
That's what you want to call a structure, coming
Yes.
across. So are those, because there's ditches on the left-hand side facing Brant Rock too.
Some of that, yeah.
And that comes across
Yep.
Plymouth.
Yes.
So is there any plans to have any of those Roosevelt, Adams, Billings, any of the crossing of Plymouth? You're putting that together to have DEP accept it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's what I'm asking. Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you, Ken.
Drainage? End of drainage?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Maintenance? That's it? Full payment, that's it on superintendents?
Yeah, that was supposed to be part of Mayflower and Countryway.
Now you have an MOU with the school department and the wastewater attached?
Right here.
So what do you want to talk, have a discussion on that?
I need you folks to sign this.
Well, I want to know what it's about first.
It has to do with the retirement system and the guys that are doing the treatment facility at the school.
You gotta sign something.
Yeah, you gotta sign all 3 copies.
What is this?
It's an MOA with the school department. Our folks that.
It's a raise for Nebraska.
No, it's not have to do with that. Have to do with the guys that are doing the work. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's nice, but I got no.
It has to go with their retirement, because the retirement board's asking for the MOA to be signed.
So do we have an MOU with
We do.
before?
It just wasn't, the county didn't recognize it or didn't see it at first, so we need to get this to them. You gotta have it enrolled tomorrow, correct, Amy? You need to have this tomorrow, right?
So
You have to sign this ahead of me.
So in here was in the 13th of 2013 was the first time we put this together?
Yes.
Yeah,
So they didn't recognize the 2013?
No, they did not.
they did not.
So
But
now
this is the same
updating the
thing.
2013 MOU?
Yes,
Yes.
so these guys can get credit for their time.
Okay, fine.
Okay, but it's nothing new.
No, it's not.
Okay, you have to sign it.
No. All right, fine. So basically, we're reauthorizing the 2013 MOU. Hey, John. Okay, here you go. The next meeting is going to be in November, to be determined. 15th?
That's the holiday week, I believe. I don't know if they.
The 11th is the holiday, that's a Monday, so it'll be the 18th. November.
Yeah, I'll be.
So a month?
I will not be available from the 9th to the 17th. Be out of town.
Well, what about the 4th? So we're 2 weeks.
Too early.
Or we're doing 5 weeks, and that's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, so 18th is the only one that, I mean, you can have the 11th, but that's the holiday,
That's
it'll be the
Veterans
12th, and I'm away that week.
You're away the 18th,
I'm away from the 9th to the 17th.
so the 18th is Monday.
I'll be back the 18th.
Oh, so you
That'll
can do
work.
the 18th.
Yeah, the
Okay,
18th.
I thought you said you could.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
So the 18th is.
All right,
yeah. And when's town meeting?
December
December 16th.
something.
December 16th?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
And at the town meeting, are they going to have the MBTA vote for ruining our water supply?
Here they are.
So, is that it? Are we done? December 16th. is town meeting,
So you're gonna vote, push for high-density housing on top of our zone 2?
Look at me.
right? Okay, we're done?
Are we done? Thank you, Marshall. This is the, I vote
Adjourn.
to conclude this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got a
Thank you.
second.